What's up, you guys? My name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. I have this little phone. I got this at it was a thing. They were doing like a re-showing of Clueless, and it was like supposed to be like, it's like this big party, like you got these little party favors and stuff, and so we got this little stress thing, but it's a little phone that says whatever, and I love it. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed at the moment, so that's why I have this in my hand. So I'm going to be reviewing two Lynn Painter books. I decided to put them both in the same video because they are very similar stories. So the first one is Better Than the Movies, and the second one, I don't have the physical book. I actually listened to it audibly, but it is right here, Betting on You, by Lynn Painter, obviously. I absolutely enjoyed both of these books. They are both enemies to lovers trope, which I feel like Lynn Painter does really, really well. I absolutely enjoyed these two books. I thought that they were so good. Better Than the Movies is definitely like a light read, but also it does have some heavy topic. Like, it doesn't fully focus on grief, but she is grieving as you go through the book, and a lot of the things that she does is because of that grief. I personally don't think it's heavily discussed, but it's definitely talked about. It definitely has a lot to do with how she is living her life and what she's deciding to do based on the grief of losing her mom. But the grief that she's going through definitely plays a role in everything that she does and every decision that she's making, even down to like who she likes. Like, it even is playing a role in that. So I thought that was really, really interesting. It's a really interesting story, and like how everything kind of transpires and how she goes through everything. So it's the story of Liz and Wes. They grew up together, and Wes was always picking on her, typical boy, and she was more like, I feel like I really related to her because she was more of like a weirdo, and she wasn't like, into everything that everybody else was into. She would be like off singing, making up little random songs and watching love story movies. Like, she's just weird, and she just like was herself. Like, she was just doing her own thing. So I really enjoyed that part of the book because I feel like I related to it. And then Wes is more of like the jock, popular guy. She's not popular, he's popular. They don't get along, but you see everything that transpires as they go through the arrangement that they make. One of the guys that they also grew up with comes back to town, and Liz has been in love with Michael forever. As long as she can remember, she's dreamt about him and waited for the day that he would return and everything. And she decides to ask Wes if he will help her to get closer to Michael so that she can then date him and him be her date to prom. So that is basically what the book is. There's no spice really, like, at all. There's no spice really, like, at all in either of the books. There's no like descriptive scenes or anything. Like, in Betting on You, there is like a moment where they're like laying down together, but nothing crazy happens. So and then nothing crazy happens in this one either. But I think they're just really sweet stories. Like, they're very, very sweet. I love how Wes acts. I think that he is just like so he's just so sweet. He's so like, she thinks that he's a certain way. Like, she's always perceived him in a certain way, but he's like 100% not in any way, shape, or form the way that she thinks that he is. And I just thought that that was like really, it was like a really sweet thing to read about and to think about, you know. The thing I really liked about this book was that there's a lot of references to other movies. Like, even on the cover, like, you can tell what movies, you know, are being are being portrayed here. And it's that I really like that little aspect. And then every chapter has like a quote from a movie. Like, this one is, "Love is patient, love is kind, love means slowly losing your mind," from 27 Dresses. It's also a lot of music references, because Liz actually makes a playlist for every occasion, I guess, which is something that actually happens in both books. Both girls are very much into making a playlist for every occasion, and they're usually not like a popular girl. They're kind of weird. They're more, you know, like low-key in how they look, and honestly, like, the stories are pretty similar, but I enjoyed it, you know. Like when I enjoy a specific type of story, I enjoy like a specific type of, I don't know, like plot line, I guess. I'm happy to continue to read it over and over. They're different enough in like what's going on that it's not like reading the exact same story, but there's definitely elements that are the same. I also, there was points where Liz really like makes me angry, but I understood. I understood where she was coming from, because she is grieving. But just the fact that she pushes everybody away, and, you know, she doesn't see that, like, Michael, you know, okay, so a part that I really enjoyed was seeing the difference between Michael and Wes, and how she was noticing more and more that, like, yeah, Michael was cool, and like, he was, you know, like a cool guy or whatever, but he was not the guy that she really wanted. You know, like, she kind of had this like built up perspective of who he was and how he was gonna be in her life and in her mind, and he ended up not being anything like that. He was very, very different from how she perceived him to be. So I thought that was really interesting, because you can see, like, she keeps going after this guy who is not being even like a tenth of how great Wes is being to her, but she's still going after him because she has it set in her mind that this guy is perfect for her, you know. So I like seeing how they go back and forth, and then she finally, like, of course, realizes that Wes is the better choice, and they have their little moment and everything, which actually gets a little bit intense. But I feel like the one thing that like irks me in both of these books is, like, you just want to scream, would you just communicate? You know, because if they would just communicate, if they would just say how they were feeling, like, we wouldn't have to go through all of this. But then that's the point, you know, then we wouldn't have a book. But that's just how I felt for most of it. Like, even so going to like Betting on You, it's the story of Bailey and Charlie, who actually meet in an airport at first, and they really do not hit it off. They don't like each other. They're so annoyed with each other and everything. I will say, in both books, the girl is the one who's more annoyed and more frustrated with the guy than the guy is towards the girl. I'm really excited to read the second one, and I want to read the little novella of like Wes's perspective of prom, because I thought that was really interesting. But I don't know where to find it, or like when it comes out or whatever. So I want to find like the other ones to these. So they don't like each other, right? And then they meet again at like a movie theater, and they recognize each other from the plane, and then they see each other again when they start working together. So it's kind of like how you see how they progress from enemies to like kind of friends, and then obviously to lovers, because it's enemies to lovers. And I really liked it. I really liked everything about the book. I thought the perspective, so it's 2 points of view. You get to hear Charlie's point of view, and you get to hear Bailey's point of view. Bailey has more of her point of view being said, and I wanted to hear more from Charlie. I wanted to hear more of his perspective. I didn't like that they gave Bailey so many chapters. Like, I wish they would have like gone back and forth a little bit more, because I actually really I think I enjoyed Charlie's perspective like more than I enjoyed Bailey's. Bailey's perspective was good, but I enjoyed Charlie's perspective. Like, honestly, if she ever like rewrote the book and did like all of it in Charlie's perspective, I would like eat that up, because I really, really enjoyed Charlie's perspective on things, and just seeing where his mind was and like what he was thinking about, you know. I just thought that was really interesting. And then so one of the things that like really got on my nerves, I'm not even gonna lie, it's even a little bit in Better Than the Movies, is even when they're already relatively cool, like they're already like basically friends, they still are like, whenever they get like an inkling of like they actually like the person that was originally their enemy, they're like, no, I can't like this person. It's Wes, or it's Charlie, it's Mr. Nothing. I can't like him. Like, why? Y'all are already cool. You don't even hate him anymore. Like, I could understand if y'all were still enemies, but you're not. Like, now you're friends, you know? So, like, why are you acting brand new, you know? Like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I get that that's the point, right? Like, they don't understand why they were literally just enemies with this person, and now they're, like, falling for them. And so I get that aspect, but it was just a little frustrating. I was like, y'all are already friends. Like, what is the big deal? What is the big deal? Like, stop. Stop it. Like, you're doing the most, you know? So I just thought that was slightly annoying. I will say that, like, I keep like kind of flip-flopping between the two, but really it's just because they're so similar. In Betting on You, the background, the things that are going on in Betting on You are not as serious as what's going on in Better Than the Movies. Better Than the Movies, obviously, like I said, has the grief aspect going on, but in Betting on You, it's more of parents are divorced. It's kids dealing with divorce, basically, is what's going on in this book. And I could relate to that also. My parents are divorced, so like I understand like what was happening. I understand like where they were coming from. I understand their perspective on things. Like I understood so much of what they were going through, just like I understood a lot of the grief that was going on in Better Than the Movies. I also understood the aspect of like my parents are dating and I don't like that. I haven't accepted the divorce. You know, I don't want you to date that person, and why does this person think that they can be part of my family? I don't even know you. I don't even want you here. Like I understand. I understand that perspective. So like I enjoyed that part of it. And then but man, Charlie made me so mad in part of the book. Whenever it was like towards the end, he made me so angry. The way that he did things with Bailey, like the way that he was like just tried to cut her off, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like Betting on You, the way that Wes did things, like the way that he, you know, went to prom with, what was her name? Ashley. The way that he went to prom with her and everything, like Liz deserved that. She 100% deserved to not be at prom with Wes. But Bailey didn't deserve that. She did not deserve it at all. And I was very mad at Charlie for the way that he treated her after having that moment that they had together. And then trying to act brand new and act like they didn't just, you know, he didn't just up and leave her like not that long ago. Like, come on, bro. Come on. You know, like it was just so frustrating. I was so mad. I was just like, man, you're just being so annoying. Like whatever. I would hated that. I hated that part, but I love the ending of both of these books. I just thought that the way that they kind of make everything come together, the way that the books end was just like it was very satisfying. I'm actually nervous to read the next one because I read the description of it, and basically like when they go off to college, Wes ends up breaking up with her and then has to try to win her back. Why did we do that, Wesley? Why did we do that? You know that that's not gonna go well. And you know what? Okay, so when I read that, I was like, I freaking knew it. I knew that he was gonna break up with her. I don't know, like, so at the very end of the book, he says, you know, they go off to college together, and at the end of the book, he says, like, we don't have to worry, like, we don't have to like be weird about breaking up because I'm not going to college with you or like for you, you know, we just happen to be going to the same college, so that's why we're going together or whatever. And I was just like, sit down somewhere, you know, you started going over there because of her, but because she was already going there and then he decided to go. But then I read that he breaks up with her and then he's trying to like win her back, and she's like, no, as she freaking should, you know. So I don't know what he's gonna do to win her back, but I guess we'll see, won't we? But yeah, so I I kind of don't want to read that one because what if like it ends bad? I don't know. Hopefully they get back together and they get married and live happily ever after. I would love that. But yeah, so I like really enjoyed both of these books. Better than the movies, I give like 5 stars. Period, point blank, period, everything. Like I loved this book. Betting on You, I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of things that I would have changed, or there was a lot of things that I found a little frustrating about the book. So I actually give that book a 4.5 stars. Still very high, still very close to being 5 stars, but there was just some stuff like I said, I really would have loved to have more of Charlie's perspective and not like an overwhelming amount of Bailey's perspective. Like I really wanted to hear Charlie's perspective as well, because those parts of the book I enjoyed so much. Like I didn't want Charlie's perspective to end. I don't know, I was just enjoying his thought process a little bit more than I was enjoying Bailey's, because Bailey was very like, I don't know, she kind of was overthinking everything, and she, you know, was just like stuck on the fact that this was Mr. Nothing from the airport. And it's like, he's not Mr. Nothing from the airport anymore. Like you are already friends with him, you know who he is, you've been talking to him on the phone. Like she just kept acting brand new, and that part was like frustrating me. So I don't know, I know it's just a book, but it was getting to me. But that's why I give it 4.5 stars. I'm also really excited to read The Do-Over. I feel like because I enjoyed these 2 books, I'm probably going to really enjoy that one. Like I said, I don't know if I said it in this video. I'm like bulk recording, like I said, so I can't remember what I said in which video. But I have so many books that I am trying to collect and that have been suggested that I really want to read. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to read more of these books. I just think it's gonna be great. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry for the spoilers if you haven't read this books, but it is what it is. So yeah, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.